All right. Can you see the screen? Dr. Shiva?
All right, great. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about the molecular science of gut health. As we have this conversation with everyone here on this, we want to have a provided background on this, on the larger motivation, what brought us here, and then how everyone here can participate in the kinds of efforts that we do. So next slide. Next slide. So when we walk through this, first of all, we'll give you a little bit of background onto the approach that we take. What is CytoSolve, the technology platform and the research platform that we use to conduct this research? The research that we're going to share here is research that's done by CytoSolve, and it aggregates and integrates many aspects of research that have been done in the past, but we put it into a systems framework. So this is original research, and this is research funded by all of you. It's not funded by the government. It's not funded by big interests. It's funded by we the people. Vastly different. We have about 62 people on the call. I know 200 people signed up, but next time we do these symposiums once a month, every Tuesdays, the first Tuesday, and all of you are invited to bring as many people as you want. Next. And after this is done, Prabhakar, I believe we put it up, right, on the site. You may just want to share with people where it is. Yeah. So all of the past symposiums, based on popular demand, you guys wanted it. So we had our IT team put all of these videos up on the site. So if we go to cytosolve.com and you go to the symposium, if those of you are interested in looking at the other videos that we've done, which come from our original research published in journals, and then if you go right here to where it says seminars, symposiums, research. Where do they go, Prabhakar, on top? Education.
Education Symposium.
And then you'll see the past one that we've done. If we go over there. The last one that we did was on liver health. The one before that was on oral health. The one before that was on about GMOs. The one before that was on pet health. And the one before that was introducing CytoSolve and the need to eliminate animal testing. So these are, again, science seminars, but we make them very accessible. These seminars can also be used in a very deliberate way to also affect policy. So, for example, the GMO seminar is now going to be used, the content and the research we've done for over the last decade is going to be used by citizens in New Zealand. New Zealand right now is under, New Zealand is right now under, the government is moving towards making New Zealand a GMO country where they're going to bring in GMOs into that country. So because of the research that we've done, because of CytoSolve, we're able to define the safety parameters for GMOs. No one else has that technology. So we're going to be working with the citizens in New Zealand to likely file a major lawsuit using our technology. So our science is an activist science that can be used for change. Okay, so let's start about gut health. Next, let's go back. So you saw the Journey to Systems video. Many of you know we have a global movement for truth, freedom, health, and we are addressing this systemic issue. But we actually want to solve it, not like Booby fucking Kennedy, who wants to talk about, he steals most of our stuff because the establishment knows people want health, but they actually have no solutions except driving people to think they're going to do something. But this is a reality, what's going on. Cost of living continues to grow. Lifespan continues to go down. And this is a trend that's been going on. And the question that every one of you needs to ask yourself and your friends and your neighbors is, how do you reverse this trend? And reversing this trend requires a systems approach, because you can't just keep thinking any one of them is going to solve it for you. You have to want to save yourself. And Prabhakar, if you can go to vashiva.com/cards. So we want to compel all of you not only to hear us, we share a lot of valuable information. We do it as a noble service. Those of you who want to support the research we do, great. And if you don't want to, that's fine also. But if you go to vashiva.com/cards, and all these URLs Dr. Prabhakar will I'll put in the chat shortly. You can literally go here. Our branding is, do you want to save yourself? And you can download these cards and you can hand it out. It's a very simple thing you can do. And these cards right there, Prabhakar, stop it. If you give this to someone, our goal is we're not here to save people. We're here to find people who want to save themselves. And the reality is they want to kill you. And if you want to shatter the swarm, hand out these cards. And on the back of the cards is a URL or a scanner code that the people you're handing out these cards get driven to the Shatter the Swarm video, and they can learn the politics of who controls us. And scroll down, we've been with a lot of the volunteers' help in our movement globally, this has been now converted to Spanish. In fact, the videos are in Spanish, Tamil, which is one of the big languages in India. Next language is Hindi. So here we're able to reach about 1.6 billion people in India. And then you keep going down. Here is in Finnish. And then in Scandinavia, we have German. So whatever part of the world you're in, France, and Dr. Prabhakar can keep scrolling down, but in Swedish, right? In Norwegian, in Aymar, I think is here. Aymar helped us. This is in Japanese, and then we have it in Italian, and so on, as Dr. Prabhakar takes it down. We have it in all these different languages. The message is the same. Do you want to shatter the swarm? Those in power have no interest in your health. They're actually killing you. And voting for any of these fools is not going to do it. We have to build a bottoms-up movement. Next. So let's go back to the slide. So I want to, use this opportunity. Obviously, some of you just came for gut health, but in our own interest, we want to compel you guys to think a little bit out of the box and think about the bigger picture here. This is what the big picture is. Next. And as a part of this big picture, one of the important things to understand is the reason people are dying much sooner and earlier is not any one system. It's because people are undergoing massive stress. And that stress is coming from destroyed immune systems. It's coming from difficulty to get very good food anymore. Very difficult. Most people don't really learn any real science. People don't know how to solve problems in the world of innovation. You have absolutely corrupt leaders at every level. And most people don't even have enough savings for more than, at least in the United States, for more than $400 in their savings accounts. Quite extraordinary. All of these things cause stress, and all of those balls around have been caused by policies, by politicians and the elites. Their policies affect your biology. So even though I'm a biologist and a scientist, I'm a systems biologist. I want to look at all of these things in a holistic way. Next. And the only way out of this, the only way is our movement. And I can say that with unequivocal confidence, is Truth Freedom Health is the only force on this planet that can go resolve that issue. Next. And we have solutions. Those solutions are the symposium that we're doing today to educate you. Those solutions are, we're the movement that taught people how to strengthen their immune system. Early in March of 2020, we saved hundreds of millions of people's lives. It is this movement that educates people on how to find local and eat healthy foods. It is this movement that teaches people how to think from a systems perspective, make your children smarter. And this movement has now trained people all over the world to be leaders in their community. Those people want. Then we also teach people economics. All of those things need to be taught if you're going to have a fulfilling life. And most importantly, we're building a global community. The number one reason people live long is because they have friendships, deep friendships, people who they can rely on. And that is what our movement is doing. And what is the value of that? It's invaluable. Next. So if you want to learn more, and all of you should become Truth Freedom Health warriors. It's a way you can contribute. Go to truthfreedomhealth.com, get educated or be enslaved, become a warrior scholar. You'll learn incredible amount of knowledge. Next, you'll learn, you'll get books, you'll get courses, you'll learn system thinking. Next. But our movement, every Thursdays, we have an open house. Again, Dr. Prabhakar and his, Prabhakar, you'll also put this URL there, right? In addition to the others. Come to our open house every Thursdays, 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. We get together. We do breakout rooms where we talk about what we're actually doing. It's action-based. It's not just theory and talking. So come to our open house. We have 2 sessions of that. Next. Then the other thing we do is we want to compel on you that if you want gut health, if you want liver health, if you want lung health, any of these health, you got to be able to not just heal your body, but you have to fight and you have to learn science. Think, fight, and heal. Next. And then we make this very tangible for you. We have multiple platforms, solution platforms. Next. Truth Freedom Health is really the leadership platform, the political training platform. Systems Health on the bottom right teaches you how to go teach others on how to educate people on what it takes to be healthy. We just ran our we do our every 2 months we do a seminar to educate Systems Health people. That next one is coming up in November. And then we have our CytoSolve Open Science Institute. Next. So we have built these solutions, non-governmental. We're not part of the government. Central is food is medicine. Next. As a part of that, it is our movement that has defined these 2 seals, certified clean and raw. You will find these on products that actually fulfill our, meaning the people's needs of what is clean food. And this has taken us around a decade, but all of you can participate in that. Next. And every second Tuesdays, for example, next Tuesday, we will have a clean food forum where we discuss different entrepreneurs, businesses who are actually providing clean food. So you'll have some indicator of what is clean food. Next. The other thing we have is we have CytoSolve, which takes from food compounds, and then we discover new medicines. For example, MV25 is a product that we discovered from natural products from chamomile flowers and bitter orange that has profound effects at the right dosages for solving pain, inflammation, etc. Those of you who you can use it as a customer and those people who like it, we've also set up a model where you can become entrepreneurs with this. But most recently, over the last year, we've been working on looking at the ancient Indian texts and identifying combinations of ground herbs that you can make into teas. Next. And so it just got finished, but we have a combination of, you take these for 21 days for joint health, systemic joint issues. Next, it's going joint tea. Next one we have for digestion issues. Next, we have one for breathing, lung issues. Next, and this is combining East and West, one for sleep. Next, one for detoxification. Next, one for particularly female issues of women go into menopause. Next, and then for immunity, and next for, I think those are the ones. All of those we've taken these thousands-year-old texts, find the right combination. The herbs in those teas are coming from indigenous sources and organic or wild crafted. It took us a lot to identify the sources. Next. So those are some new developments. And again, this is our Tuesday event, Symposium. Next. The third wing of our solution wing is we have Systems Health. Every one of you can become health educators. The health education market is going to become a $30 billion industry. Most of it's going to be garbage. But our Systems Health education program gives you a framework so you can help yourself and others figure out what are the right foods, the right exercises. Out of all the chaos that you see on YouTube, what should you do that's right for you and help others? Next. So that is developed into the Systems Health program. We have a very powerful set of educational courses, about 200 hours of educational courses, a 3-day summit. But we also have a powerful technology where you answer a set of questions. It helps you figure out what kind of system you are. Next, then it helps you figure out how your system is off course. And how do you bring the black dot back to the red dot? Next. And this develops a lifestyle program unique to the individual. And all of you can get trained to help others do this. Next. And then out of this, we've also created very specific, for people who want quick fix solutions, so those people who are displaced in Vata, it helps them bring, decrement that. Next, people who have a deficiency in Pitta, or an excess, or people have an excess in Vata. Next, Prabhakar, keep going. Kapha. Next is, so these are solution teas, Vata and Pitta. Next is Pitta and Kapha, and so on. So you can do analysis for people. You can help them. Those people want a quick solution. We have the teas, or they can go on a lifestyle program. So anyway, we've done. Yes, I spent a lot of time, and our movement does exposing these people, but we also have incredible solutions platforms. Next. So we want to let you know that's what we have. And all of you have no excuses anymore to say, well, what to do? I don't know what to do. Well, we'll tell you exactly what to do. Number one, go to Shatter the Swarm, become a warrior scholar, and then you can jump into any of these solutions platforms and do it just for yourself. Nicole Williams says, where do you buy the tea? You can go to Prabhakar, you can show them. Nicole Prabhakar will drop in. He'll show you if you go to vashiva.com/shop. And we have limited supply of the tea because we actually are making it, manufacturing in India, and they're organically or wild crafted. So it's right up on the shop, and you go to the tea section right there. And so there's all of them. Thanks, Prabhakar. But Prabhakar, maybe as I'm talking, you could get all the URLs put together, you know, what it is and the link, what it is and the link, and then you can drop one big. So Dr. Prabhakar will do one URL. That's for the teas. Okay. All right. So I just want to impress on you, we're a global movement, science, technology, engineering, a lot of hard work, unique solutions to actually enable you to save yourself and change the world. You don't have an excuse to say, I don't know what to do. We know exactly what to do. The issue is we need to get enough people doing this. Next. So again, go to Truth Freedom Health, become a warrior scholar. You can contribute to yourself and you can also help us. Go watch the Truth Freedom Health video. Next. So when you can support us, you can give nothing, you can give something, but when you give us something, next, you can become a member. Next, you can get all these content. You can become a supporter, which, by the way, that's going to be going away. It's just going to be a warrior scholar, but you get many gifts. You get books, you get training, you get community, but get involved. It's a small contribution that you help what we're doing if you want to do that. Next. So next, let's go into the agenda. We've covered what is system science. Let's go into what is CytoSolve. So what is CytoSolve? CytoSolve is a platform, just like Truth Freedom Health is, just like email was a platform, just like System Self. This platform allows us to do scientific research without killing animals faster and cheaper. We have now published in the leading journals in the world using CytoSolve. So CytoSolve is our research wing. Those of you who want to participate in CytoSolve can. Dr. Prabhakar is going to play you a quick video right now to explain what is CytoSolve. And this will explain to you the profound innovation that we've created, that Harvard, MIT, the biggest institutions in the world come to us to do their research. And we have right now 3 new papers coming out, one on stem cells, one on asthma, one on ALS. And it's not, we didn't get billions of dollars. We got nothing to do that, but we're publishing in the leading journals. That's the power of this platform. So what is CytoSolve? Go ahead, Prabhakar.
Who would have ever thought someone like me would invent email and create CytoSolve to revolutionize health for personalized and precision medicine, a system for delivering the right medicine for the right person at the right time? I was born a low-caste untouchable in India's caste system, a system of aristocracy, oppression, and racism. As a child, I observed my grandmother, a poor village farmer, practice Siddha, India's oldest system of medicine, to heal local villagers by observing their face, to know their unique constitution, to deliver a unique combination of foods, healing herbs, and massage. The caste system and her abilities to heal inspired me to understand the interconnectedness of all life. My name is Dr.SHIVA Ayyadurai. I'm an MIT PhD, a Fulbright scholar, a scientist, technologist, and inventor. My family and I left India to come to America on my 7th birthday. As a 14-year-old, I began working as a full-time research fellow at Rutgers Medical School to unravel the mysteries of sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS, and created the world's first email system long before I ever heard of MIT. As I traverse academia over the next 3 decades, I observed self-serving academics, never solving real problems, writing grant after grant, competing for tenure, while diminishing real science and real scientists, pushing a reductionist science to destroy the scientific method. Like the blind men who never saw the whole elephant, but the parts, they delivered a dismembered view of reality. I observed Big Pharma use such reductionism, wasting billions year after year to fund research in test tubes, killing animals, and using the poor as guinea pigs for clinical testing to create products that even the FDA no longer allowed. Not only Big Pharma practiced this reductionism, but also the elites of Big Vitamin, Big Green, and Big New Age, with gurus and yogis, empowered by Hollywood celebrities, selling one supplement after another based on a cherry-picked science. All that changed in 2003 when the Human Genome Project ended, revealing that humans have the same number of genes, about 20,000, as that of a worm, giving rise to a systems biology. We realized that one-size-fits-all medicine was a failure. We realized their medicines were killing us, making today's generation's lifespan shorter than any previous generation. Obesity, heart disease, deaths from adverse reaction to drugs, confusion on what diet, what supplements, and who to believe is what they have delivered you. They push natural and organic products for your beauty and wellness, while their real solution is their plastic surgeons and Botox. We've been sold out. It's time for real science, a system science that interconnects the parts to discover truth, to know what really works, to get the health we need and deserve. This is why I created CytoSolve. CytoSolve is about truth, freedom, and health versus power, profit, and control. CytoSolve is a revolutionary technology integrating bioinformatics, computational biology, mathematical modeling, decentralization to reveal the truth. CytoSolve computes trillions of potential combinations of biomolecular interactions to discover what actually works based on the actual science. No reductionism, no cherry picking. CytoSolve's predictive modeling has been proven accurate time and time again, matching laboratory results. CytoSolve discovers synergistic combinations of compounds to maximize health and reduce toxicity. For example, we know curcumin from turmeric and resveratrol from red grapes alleviate inflammation, but how much should we combine? Current methods are hand-waving at best. Here, with CytoSolve, we first model the control condition with no curcumin and no resveratrol to simulate high inflammation with the cytokine level at 0.15 micromolar. Next, we add just 5 micromolars of curcumin. The inflammation drops to 0.05. Next, we use 5 micromolars of resveratrol and the inflammation drops from 0.15 to 0.06. But when we combine curcumin and resveratrol of 3 micromolars of curcumin and 2 micromolars of resveratrol, inflammation drops from 0.15 to 0.03, far lower, nearly 200% less than just one compound alone. That's the synergy principle of system science. We've all had enough of their fake and reductionist science. They think we'll simply keep buying their marketing, their celebrities, and their products that can never truly heal us. We don't need them. Great things come when we integrate the best of things. It's our time. It's time we delivered solutions for ourselves. It's time for truth, freedom, and health. It's time for CytoSolve. Welcome.
All right, that video gives you an idea of what this platform is. Now, using this platform, we do research, and today's conversation is going to be on gut health next. So that platform allows us to take the research that's done right now on gut health. There's probably about 100,000 papers written. The issue is the problem with most of the scientific research, it's what's called reductionist, which means you can cherry pick science to decide which way you want the narrative to go. What we do at CytoSolve Next is we follow a innovation process that's a systems-based approach. So first, we think about it as the problem with biology is it's like we're landing on an, let's say you come across a spacecraft, an alien spacecraft, you don't even know how it works. You have to probe the individual parts, and then you get all this data or components, and then you have to say, what is this spacecraft? Well, that's how the body is. We have all these little parts that scientists every day are discovering. You know, at the summit we just ran for Systems Health, which I recommend everyone should come to, at that Systems Health Summit, I commented that in Cambridge, where we are right now, within a 1 mile radius of where our building is, there's nearly 10 million square feet of laboratory space. 10 million square feet. Cambridge has become the center for biotech. What are those labs doing? Well, one lab may just spend 50 years just figuring out how one molecule reacts with another molecule to get a Nobel Prize. So you have all these little parts of knowledge all over the world. So what we do is we find all those parts, and by the way, those parts are chemical pathways or molecular pathways. We interconnect them to reverse engineer to understand what is the building that we have, like what is the architecture of lung health or gut health. So that's the first thing we do. No one in biology does this. We start there. We start at the right area. That's called the systems architecture. Next. And that's what we've done with gut health. Next, what we do is we publish it. We share that knowledge with the world. We don't hide it because we want everyone to review it. We want everyone to critique us. We're willing to be very transparent. We want criticism. Are we headed in the right direction or not? Then the next thing we do is we use that knowledge to connect all those pieces and mathematically model it to create on the computer so we don't have to go kill animals. Then what we do is we use that model to actually start screening compounds. So the way they do screening right now is you say, oh, let me kill a bunch of rats here. Let me kill a bunch of pigs. Let me try this. Let me try that. It's a, someone's saying the audio's poor. Is everyone experiencing that? Hello? Prabhakar?
I don't have any issues.
Okay. Anyone else? Others are saying their audio is fine. Sorry, Nicole. You may want to get on off if you may be on a Wi-Fi, Nicole. You may want to try that. Okay. So then so if you think about nature has close to imagine the number 10 with 36 zeros after it. That's how many compounds are in nature. Now you want to combine all those. You would have to kill every animal on the planet for the next 1,000 years to do that kind of animal testing. With CytoSolve, we can combine compounds that are coming from nature to find actual new medicines. Next, and that's what we do. That's what my grandmother used to do. Next, but obviously in a much more different way. And then if we're discovering something new, we make sure that pharma doesn't steal it from us or Amazon doesn't. Next. And then we start producing it. Now, we never thought we were going to do all of this. We thought we would just do modeling. But we've been forced to do all of these because no one else wants to do this. And all of this has been funded by us by over the last 16 years. Next. So an example of this is we are now going after every major disease on the planet. And you can see we've spun out individual companies, initiatives. So on the far right, those are the most mature: osteoarthritis, men's health, pancreatic cancer, brain health, immune health, anti-aging, gut brain. That's in phase 5. Phase 4 is diabetes, cardiovascular disease, dengue, hepatic function, which is liver, digestion, muscle, ALS. And then you go over to Alzheimer's, I'm sorry. Phase 3 is lupus, leukemia, oral health, some of the rare diseases, neuromyelitis optica, HAE. And then we just are about to publish, which is in publication right now, stem cells, pulmonary fibrosis, ALS, and asthma. And then we have some new stuff we're working on, pulmonology, et cetera. Okay. So we have all these phases, and we have a very particular way we march down in our research objectives. Next. So today we're going to talk about gut health, but I wanted to give you this background on how digestion occurs, what supports good gut health, but that's one of our initiatives. Next. And when you think about this, and we're in phase 4 of this, we're literally starting to look at compounds that can really support gut health. Everyone's like, oh, gut health eats probiotics. Well, which probiotic? What's the right way to do this? So everyone gets on these fads. What we want to do is use the scientific framework of CytoSolve to actually understand the potentiality of what's out there and what can work. Next. MV25, for example, is a process that we did to get here. Next. So this is a living example where we did the architecture. We went through every paper that had been written there about joint health. And then we built the entire architecture as an example of it on the right. Then we published it, one of the leading journals. And then we modeled all of it. And then we went through trillions of computations of different compounds coming from these kinds of foods. And then we discovered a combination of 2 compounds that had profound effects on lowering pain, lowering inflammation, etc. So we published it. And then we found out these 2 compounds affected multiple pathways of pain. When they say joint health, what do you mean? Well, you have to lower PGE2, you have to lower pain, that's called PGE2 signaling and COX2, and you have to lower oxidative stress. So these two compounds hit all those pathways. And then we went and make sure we got protection, because otherwise Amazon just watches what you're selling and they just copy it. And then we manufactured it right here in the United States. So Dr. Prabhakar will play a quick video to help you understand this is a process we're doing. And with digestive health, we want to do the same thing. Go ahead, Prabhakar.
Millions of people suffer every day from painful discomfort and swelling, but most pain medications come with harsh side effects, and many alternative supplements have little scientific backing. That's why we at CytoSolve created MV25. MV25 was formulated using the CytoSolve Computational Systems Biology Platform, a technology for precision and personalized health invented by Dr.SHIVA during his doctoral research at MIT. This formulation is the result of computing trillions of potential combinations of biomolecular interactions derived from thousands of peer-reviewed scientific papers published across 4 decades by 68 research institutions to discover an optimal synergy of compounds that downregulate biomarkers of discomfort and normal swelling.
Hi, I'm Barbara Ann. My hands would cramp up so that I couldn't hold cards or knit or crochet, and they would go like that. And I'd have to use this when I played cards with my grandkids, and I started taking that MV25. After a bit, I was able to hold cards in my hand, very, very little cramping, hardly at all anymore. MV25.
Hi, my name is Sandy. I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I tore my ACL during Taekwondo. I had a lot of pain and limited mobility. I've been taking the MV25 for about 6 months now. After the first week, I noticed a big difference. After the second week, almost literally no pain.
My name is Jeremy, and I suffer from a lower back problem. Hurt my back at work years ago, and I can go to the chiropractor, do all kinds of different things, and nothing seems to help. And I decided to try MV25. I didn't notice a difference immediately, but within a few days, the pain went away, and it stayed away. I've continued to take it, and even when I do things that I shouldn't do, it seems to go away a lot quicker than it ever did before.
MV25 is certified clean, 100% non-GMO, made in America, and GMP certified for good manufacturing practices. MV25 is CytoSolve optimized, which means that this formula has been engineered to maximize benefits while minimizing toxicity based on current research curated by CytoSolve. As the science advances, so will this formulation. This is our promise. Order online at mv25.life. Consult your doctor before taking any supplement or medication and use as directed. MV25.
All right, great. So now you have an understanding from a systems perspective, the approach we take. You have an understanding of the fact that we have a process to go end to end from research to product development. And most importantly, this doesn't use animal testing. And most importantly, we're not reliant on major big pharma. We have our own solutions platform. So using this, we pointed our focus at gut health, which is a very, very important area. And the issue is, what is gut health? So we always want to educate the public on what is gut health. So what is the gut health initiative? And as we mentioned, we're at phase 4 of our development in gut health. Next. So from a systems perspective, we've identified many things that are involved that are triggers of gut health. So when you look at this, you want to look at what are the things that can trigger gut health issues. One is systemic factors like genetics. But genetics aren't the only thing that, just because you have a genetic proclivity doesn't mean you're going to get the disease, because you have epigenetic things that you do to your body that can turn off and turn off genes, turn on and turn off genes. Then we have immune system reactions that occur within the body that can affect gut health. You have then dysbiosis of the intestinal flora. We live with a lot of critters. trillions of bacteria within us. And if there's a dysbiosis, meaning an imbalance, that's going to affect gut health. Environmental factors. Where do you live? The environmental factors, which are related to lifestyle, also include stress. What kind of people are you hanging around with? Are you in stressful environments that can affect your gut? Lifestyle. How are you living your life? Are you living it in a way that is supporting your overall process? Now, in systems health, when you integrate Eastern medicine, you find out that the gut is related to conversion processes, digestion processes, which are also related to cognition. So gut and brain cannot be separated. Are you using tons and tons of NSAIDs? People have inflammation, start taking ibuprofen or paracetamol. These things affect your gut. So a lot of people don't talk about it, but long-term use of these non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs affect your gut. Psychological stress, which is related to environmental, but who are you hanging out with? Are you with crazy people? Are you with stressful situations? Do you not have the resilience to handle it? Did you suffer trauma? Your gut, as you know, is your second brain, or may even be the first brain. And so smoking, consumption of milk products. Now, this is interesting. It's typically the pasteurized. There's a whole debate here. But we don't have the milk products that we originally had, right? We have a very different kind of milk. So our research identified not just one factor, but 9 different factors that affect the triggers of gut health. So that's the first thing. Next thing we did was, when we looked at gut health from a systems perspective, let's discuss this. So you have the digestive system, and you have the process that the digestive system's involved. Your digestive system's a food conversion engine of the body. And as you notice, the digestion actually begins in the mouth. It starts in the mouth, chewing, right? Your salivary glands, there's about 700 bacteria in your mouth. Your esophagus is involved in this. Your stomach, we think the stomach is the only place digestion takes place. That's really not true. The stomach has to work with the small intestines, where bile is released, and then you have the large intestines. And if you follow it all the way through, the movement of all of that waste matter through your anus. The solid organs that are involved in supporting all of this are the liver, the pancreas. The liver's up there. If you look at your body and you take your right hand, it's on the upper right. You have the pancreas, which is right there, as Dr. Prabhakar showing, and then you have the gallbladder. So you have these subsystems which are supporting those processes as food goes from the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestines, large intestines, and the waste out through the anus. So that's your digestive system. Now, the mouth, the esophagus, and the stomach, let's look at those. So the mouth is involved in the mechanical breakdown of large morsels of food, the mixing with the salivary glands. That's where digestion actually begins, where you're chewing with your mechanical breakdown and the enzymes. Enzymes are critical here. Most digestive issues are because people don't have enough enzymes or they're not properly chewing. Then the esophagus is where the food is transported from the mouth to the stomach. The stomach is where the breakdown of food with the acids and the enzymes into usable form occurs, right? So those 3 subsystems are involved in really the function of breaking up the food. Next. The small intestines are a little bit different. This is where absorption of the nutrients takes place. So this is where you dissolve the food from the stomach with enzymes that are pumped through the small intestines that come from the pancreas and bile from the liver. So the enzymes from the pancreas and bile from the liver is used to really dissolve up the food in the stomach. And then those through the small intestine, that's where the absorption of the nutrients takes place. And then so you break down the food, you're digesting it, you absorb the nutrients through the small intestines, and the unusable food is transferred to the large intestines. And this is in the small intestines where you really have the gut microbiome. Every time you hear microbiome, bacteria, this is where the small intestines are particularly involved. The pancreas, one needs to understand that this is where the enzymes are produced to digest the macronutrients, okay? Trypsin, chymotrypsin. These are used to break down protein into acids, amylase to break down the carbohydrates. You see, you have proteins, glucose, and fatty acids. Each one of them require different kinds of enzymes. Typically, enzymes end with the suffix ase, amylase, lipase. So amylase breaks down carbohydrates, lipase breaks down fats. So lipase comes from lipid, right? So these enzymes are critical to proper digestion, to breaking down those foods so you can absorb nutrients. So we live in such a non-natural world. Most people don't have proper digestion. Enzyme supplements can be very valuable, or doing things that you support the proper release of enzymes. Next. The liver. The liver is what supplies the bile to the small intestines to break down the fat. But more importantly, the liver is where detoxification takes place. It's a filter. It's to filter nutrients from small intestines as well as to remove toxins. And it's also where you transfer nutrients to the blood. Very, very important. The gallbladder is where you store the bile, and you have a concentration of bile. The large intestines, once things come from the small intestines after the nutrients have been absorbed, they're the things that absorb the water from the waste left over from the digestive process in the small intestines, but they too host gut microbiome. The rectum is this, that's where you store the stool until it's full, and the anus is where it's evacuated. If you didn't know this, we wanted to give you sort of a quick lesson in this, but there's many, many subsystems involved for you to have proper digestion. It's not all of these things have to work together. The liver being important, the gallbladder, the small intestines, large intestines, all of these systems. Next. So how do you support gut health? What are the mechanics of it? Well, first of all, gut health refers to the overall well-being of the organs of the digestive system. Your mouth has got to function well, the salivary glands, the esophagus, the liver, the gallbladder, the stomach, the pancreas, the large intestine, small intestines, the appendix, the rectum, and the anus. All of these subsystems have got to work. Now, gastrointestinal disease, number one cause is stress. Number one, low fiber diet. Obviously, you age. And high dairy food intake. Obviously, the wrong kinds of dairy. There are the right kinds of dairy. But when we say dairy, we're talking about this pasteurized, homogenized stuff that you get these days, okay? But those are the things that cause gastrointestinal disease. Typically, the symptoms of it are bloating. You start regurgitating food, heartburn, nausea, vomiting, constipation, diarrhea. You can't tolerate certain foods, abdominal pain and cramps, loss of appetite, weight loss, and blood in stools. These are symptoms that typically point to one of these subsystems or multiple subsystems failing. Next. So what are the interventions? Number one, a balanced diet. But a balanced diet for one person may not be a balanced diet for another person, as we teach in systems health. One is the maintenance of normal body weight. Very, very important. The avoidance of these NSAIDs. And the last one is the synergistic combination with prebiotics and probiotics. Now, there's others, but these are the key things. Proper diet, the maintenance of your body weight, avoid these NSAIDs, and the combination of prebiotics and probiotics. Next. Close to 1 billion people, 685 million people, suffer from gut health. It's not a small number, but it's 685 million people globally. Next. So let's look at the system of gut motility. Movement is central to gut health. And what we at CytoSolve have identified are 4 major molecular systems that are involved: inflammation, Are you producing proper mucus in the gut or not? Oxidative stress and fecal bulking. You need to have all these 4 subsystems. So remember, this is the gut itself is a system, and it's a system of systems problem. We're not going to say gut health, oh, just eat a lot of fiber, bulk up and you're good. And that's what others do. Or make sure you're reducing stress, oxidative stress, or reduce inflammation. You got to have all 4 of these subsystems working in proper order. Next. So inflammation involves a series of molecular pathways. We've identified those. These are chemical reactions, orchestrated reactions that we've looked at the literature out there and we've organized them. So all of those reactions have to work properly, next, to produce, make sure you're not in an inflammatory state. The mucus production. You need to produce a certain level of mucus in your gut or make sure you're not overproducing. Next, oxidative stress is where your body creates reactive oxygen species. That's not a good thing when it overdoes this. And then fecal binding is another set of pathways that we've identified. So we have, next, we have these range of pathways. Now, inflammation, one of the biomarkers of inflammation is NO, nitric oxide. So we want to reduce that. Next, mucus production is mucin 5. You want that to be increased. And then oxidative stress, you want to bring that down. And then fecal bulking, that's measured by 2 variables, PYY and GLP-1. Dr. Prabhakar and I were discussing before the effect of Ozempic, which is that new drug, is really focused on GLP-1, right, Prabhakar?
Right. So it's a all these weight loss or the diabetic drugs are agonists for GLP-1. It's a peptide that helps with the glucose metabolism,
Right.
Making sure that the levels are maintained properly.
But they're not looking at all the other side effects it could have. You see? So those are individual chemical biomarkers that we have identified at CytoSolve. Some of them you need to lower and others you need to increase. Okay? So those 4 subsystems form the systems architecture of gut health. Next. So we actually published a very important paper with one of the major industry leaders looking at this. Next. So we did that. Then what we did was we took those 4 pathways and we modeled those 4 subsystems. We call gut motility models. Next. And what we uncovered, next, was in nature, there are various foods that people talk about that could support gut health. Ginger, turmeric, kiwi fruit, cumin, fennel, garlic, clove, cinnamon, pepper, broccoli, licorice, curd, or what people call yogurt, fenugreek, cardamom. Actually, curd is a little bit different, right? Than yogurt. It's more like the kefir. Tinospora cordifolia, amla, which has a lot of vitamin C, ashwagandha, ginkgo, yogurt, coriander asafoetida, which is a guggul, which is the sap of a tree, and then aloe vera. So these are things that people have talked about in nature that you can do in different traditional literature. What we've done is we've looked at those and identified specific compounds. Next. In those. So for example, we'll give you one example in kiwi. Kiwi has profound effects on supporting gut motility. And there you have 2 different kinds, golden kiwi and green kiwi. Next. And what we again looked at is the ingredients in that fruit on the effects of lowering NO, increasing mucin 2, lowering ROS, and increasing PYY and GLP-1. Next. So what we noticed was the ingredients in green kiwi, which we identified as actazin and livox. There's so imagine you take 2 green kiwi and 2 golden kiwi, either one. Prabhakar, do you want to walk people through this?
Sure. So in this particular experiment, we looked at how the green kiwi, the gold kiwi, and the supplements that are made from kiwi based on the green and gold actazine and Luvox respectively affect the inflammatory pathways for which the biomarker is nitric oxide. So the first bar represents the control where we are not giving any treatment. So this is the high inflammation levels, and that's causing you gut motility issues. So when you are given an intervention of 2 green kiwi fruits, it actually suppresses most of these nitric oxide. That's what our results found. Similar with the gold kiwi fruit as well. And then for the supplements, the actazine and Luvox, they were able to reduce it, but not as much as the whole kiwi fruits. So these are the extracts from the kiwis, but not the whole fruit. So what it says is that there are some other things in kiwi apart from these two supplements that are actually helping us with lowering the inflammatory biomarker of nitric oxide. So it was very effective. The fruit was really effective in reducing inflammation in case of issues of gut motility. Secondly, we have oxidative stress. So the biomarker for the oxidative stress is ROS, the reactive oxygen species. So if you have higher oxidative stress, that means you have higher reactive oxygen species, you have gut motility issues. So at control, we have high oxidative stress. And when you consume the fruit, it goes down pretty significantly, almost by 50%. And with the supplements, it is decreased a little bit, but not as good as the whole fruit. Thirdly, we have the biomarker of mucin, which is for increasing the mucus production in your gut. So the more or the moderate amount of mucus you have, the better your gut motility is. So when you have issues of gut motility, you don't have any mucin production. As you add the fruit, your mucin production increases. That means there's an ease in the gut motility. So both the fruit as well as the supplement did actually pretty good compared to each other in promoting the production of mucin and helping alleviate the gut motility issues. Lastly, we have the these are the two biomarkers for fecal bulking. That means it's not runny or it's not any causing any issues your stools. So those two biomarkers indicate the more they are, the better your fecal bulking is and the better bowel movement you have. So for both PYY,
Prabhakar, one second here. So this is these two biomarkers, PYY and GLP-1, are the ones that are involved in one of the phenomenon that you need for gut health, right? Fecal bulking.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So under
I think what Ozempic affects GLP-1 only, right?
Right.
Okay.
So pretty good effect of the both fruit as well as the supplements in increasing both the biomarkers, the PYY, peptide Y, as well as the glucagon-like peptide 1, as the GLP-1. They are both able to increase it significantly compared with the control. So, and as we mentioned earlier, GLP-1 is not only good for improving your gut health, but also making your body utilize blood glucose efficiently. So there's no increase in blood glucose, or that doesn't lead you to a pre-diabetic or diabetic condition. So if you don't have proper functioning of GLP-1, then your glucose metabolism is hampered, and you may travel down the path of prediabetes and diabetes. So in summary, gold and green kiwi fruit affected all 4 different pathways of gut motility by reducing the inflammation, by enhancing mucin production, and reducing the nitric oxide, and enhancing the fecal bulking through those 5 biomarkers. And for the supplements, they were moderately effective in mucin production, nitric oxide reduction, and enhancing the fecal bulking, but not really on the reactive oxygen species. So both the fruit and the supplement enhance the production of this key peptide, GLP-1, which is involved in uptake of glucose and that indicates that they have a potential role for the kiwi fruit and kiwi supplements in improving the glucose metabolism, which is significant for both pre-diabetic and diabetic population.
Barker, I think one of the important things, if you go back, I stay on this one, is that one of the reasons we did this is now with this engine that we have, we can start testing any different kinds of complex foods. So you can take the extracts, right? A particular molecule from kiwi, which is what those two molecules were, right? Actazin and Livox. Or you can eat the entire kiwi fruit. What's important to understand is that from this research, it appears that just eating 2 kiwi a day has much more equal or much more effect than across all those pathways than even taking the supplements. I think that's a net takeaway, right, Prabhakar?
Right. Yeah. And it's sometimes the supplements are a better option. Sometimes the whole foods are a better option. And then it also depends on the availability and the seasonality of the fruits. So in case you don't have the access to kiwi fruit, then your next best option is the supplements for gut motility related issues. That's what our research is pointing to.
Great. Next.
All right.
So we are now in the phase of finishing up the combination screening, and we're going to be coming up with some cool products. Obviously, we want to give people the option. Hey, you can eat kiwi, or you can eat this and this. We're going to have a whole range of lifestyle options. Or, here's a product that you can have, which is a combination like we did with MV25. Next, and then we'll start manufacturing and licensing it. Those of you who are interested in this can participate in this. You can support the research, you can fund it, maybe you want to be the CEO of a new gut DigesTiSolve. We're looking for people who want to run companies, who want to take these things out to market. So as a part of that, how do you support what we're doing? How can you help? Well, there's many ways you can help. You can buy products, you can fund our research. If you have lots of money, well, we'll take your money and you can fund us to do the research more in a faster way. You can also become an affiliate. There's no multi-level marketing stuff. We don't like that. But you can resell it directly. You can refer people to our services. You can also use CytoSolve to produce your own products. You may say, wow, I want to produce a product in this, and we'll support you do that. And you can join our movement. Next. So, by the way, someone asked a question, which is a good question. Someone said, isn't nitric oxide production good? You want to take that, Prabhakar? Yes.
Sure. So it depends on where it is occurring.
Exactly.
And what is producing the nitric oxide. So there are various places in our body where nitric oxide is produced by different enzymes. There are 3 major ones, and there's like an implication of another 4th one that's also coming up. So first one is the eNOS, or endothelial nitric oxide synthase. So that's an enzyme that produces nitric oxide in your blood vessels. So it is located in the endothelial cells that form the innermost layer of a blood vessel. So, and the amount of nitric oxide produced there is very small. And at those dosages, or at those levels, what that nitric oxide does is it actually helps relaxing the smooth muscle cells that surround the blood vessel. So it allows the vasodilation. That's how you can regulate the blood pressure. So nitric oxide is actually very good in those conditions. So if you don't have enough nitric oxide there, then you might develop vascular resistance, hypertension, and so on and so forth. The second enzyme is called iNOS, or inducible nitric oxide synthase, which is an enzyme that is present in most of the immune cells, and it's also implicated in inflammation. So the main role of iNOS is to create a lot of nitric oxide for a short amount of time. When body is inflamed, that means the body is under attack from pathogens. So in that case, nitric oxide actually kills the pathogens. But then there are other processes in bodies where, like gut health or fecal bulking or any other inflammatory processes, where you don't really want that iNOS induced nitric oxide, because that nitric oxide, it is in large amounts. It actually can damage The DNA can damage lipids, proteins, and can have adverse effect on your health. So this is the nitric oxide that we're talking about in this particular context of gut health. So you don't really want too much of that nitric oxide. You want to lower that nitric oxide so you don't have issues with gut health. The third one is neuronal nitric oxide synthase. It's present in brain and neurons, which in that case, nitric oxide actually is used as a signaling molecule, pass the signal from neuron to neuron, so it acts as a neurotransmitter. And fourth is it's a recently discovered implication in mitochondria. It's called mitochondrial NOS, and it has some implications in the health of mitochondria. So, in short, nitric oxide has a lot of roles, and its utility is determined by from where it is produced and in what quantities it is produced. So, low quantity, it helps. In high quantity, it kills the bacteria, but it also can turn on your body as well. Hope that makes sense.
That question, Prabhakar, was asked by Sven Newstrip. So Sven actually said, I thought production of NO is good, producing high blood pressure. So again, just to summarize, when you take a reductionist approach, you may just think good, bad, but it depends if you look at the body, where it's produced and how much, and which chemical process. So you have a lot of the bodybuilders will take arginine as a supplement to produce NO, but that's really for endothelial cells, which supports pumping to get the pump or the cardiovascular, for vasodilation. We're talking about a different process in the gut. I think that's the net of it, right, Prabhakar?
Right. And it is,
yeah. It's
under inflammatory conditions.
Under inflammatory conditions. So this is why when we take a systems approach, you don't see things as pro-NO, anti-NO, pro-vax, anti-vax, pro-this, pro. You have to be appreciative of the large-scale systems perspective of this. Arte Segawa says, regarding the oral health product you're researching, how can I contribute with a chance that I will have it as investment for my family? So Arthur, the way we can do is we can do a follow-up to this conversation. Prabhakar, if you have that email ready. So we do regular meetings directly with people, so we can do a follow-up with you, Arthur. So on the gut health product, the research, Dr. Prabhakar can, he'll give you a link that we can set up a scheduled meeting with me and Dr. Prabhakar to speak. But at a high level, Prabhakar can bring this paper up. We did a symposium on this, but we are literally in the product development stage right now. We're going to start screening compounds, so you can help with that. Prabhakar, I think you should put all the different links, Prabhakar, if you can, to schedule this link, to open house this link, systems health tutorial this link. If you can just craft that. In fact, I can share the gut health product, Prabhakar, where you're getting that text message put together. Okay. Yeah. So let me share with people. So in the oral health area, and by the way, now oral health is directly related to gut health, because most of the digestion begins in your mouth, as we talked about. So about last year, after almost took us about 5 years to do this work, we published a major paper, which was the first of its kind, where we mapped out every molecular pathway in the mouth, and we created a architecture of the mouth microbiome. And it's available. Everything we publish, we try to make it so it's freely accessible to all of you. But here is the oral health, which is related to gut health, as we mentioned, paper. So let me bring it up. So this was the oral health paper. It's called the Molecular Systems Architecture of Host Microbiome in Interaction with Periodontitis. So we really did a very nice system layout of periodontal disease, for example, which is multiple things. You have bone loss, right? And then you also have soft tissue loss, like your gums. And this is caused by an interaction of the immune cells interacting with, the actual tooth and all the surrounding area. So what we did as a part of this, and you can go look at the video we did, we mapped out, we gave the sort of the anatomical architecture. You have the hard tissue, the bones, right, which hold your teeth there, the soft tissues, and then how the immune cells here react with your gut microbiome to interact and either support the mouth or oral microbiome or to affect it. And this resulted in us mapping out every molecular reaction. No one had done this before. And then figuring out how these molecular reactions affect this bacterium, P. gingivalis, which is not good for gut health. There's a couple of other, oral health. There's P. gingivalis, T. denticola, and then also, and P. gingivalis there again. But you can see how these bacteria are affected by different molecular reactions. So we've spent 5 years mapping this out. And Arthur, to answer your question, we are now starting to look at individual molecules. So our goal would be to create something for the mouth. It could be something you chew. It could be potentially chewing gum, a mouthwash, a rub that you could use to really support your mouth microbiome. So yes, so anyone out there, understand that everything we do is done. It's really the work that we're doing. I think I'm back, right? From our own efforts. So Arthur, I hope that helps. And I don't know, Prabhakar, if you sent out an email to everyone. Yes, so Dr. Prabhakar just sent out an email. The first one is if you want to do a meeting with us, you can schedule there. If you want to know more about the teas, where the products are, if you want to come to the Truth, Freedom, Health orientation. Prabhakar, maybe you can just update that, put Truth, Freedom, Health orientation systems health tutorial, the symposium, if you can post it again. Can you share the mouth microbiome paper link? Sure. So this is a paper link that we did. And again, most people, when they publish, they put stuff behind a firewall so no one else can access it. So I'm sending the paper to everyone here. So you guys are getting a lot of research. It's right up there. So we've made it accessible. I just put it out to everyone. That's the paper on the mouth microbiome. All right. Prabhakar, we haven't done the work we've done on the gut microbiome and the gut and brain, right? We haven't shared that. We will do as a follow-up likely next month on showing you the work we've done integrating the gut and the brain, and because the gut and the brain are together interconnected. All right, let's go back to Dr. Prabhakar's slides. So one of the ways you can help us is that in this gut health research, we're just on the verge now of starting to find compounds. We've actually thought about creating a fund where people can participate in. Everyone here can own a piece of the gut health company. Sorry, Prabhakar, did I miss one thing? I think you went a little bit. Go before that. You can also support our research by buying the products of our research. You can go buy crap, or you can buy. So we have a very powerful product we did for pets called K9701. Prabhakar, you may want to put a link right to that too. This is around 16 different ingredients coming from natural ingredients, which really supports a dog's gut health, supports detoxification, which means they get better liver health, gut health. I'm not saying you should do this, but this is, there's nothing in here that says humans can't eat this. I have a number of people who add this to their smoothies, okay? But it has a number of very powerful ingredients. We did a whole video series on this. It actually smells nice too. It's got some Indian herbs in there, fenugreek, turmeric, etc. Next. The other thing is obviously we have MV25 that Dr. Prabhakar showed. We now have these teas, which are coming from grounded herbs, sourced from indigenous tribes. Some of them, the Indian government still allows people to go into the forests and get some of these medicines you can't get unless they're literally coming from wild sources. So, so this is those teas we shared with you. Next. You can also help fund our research. Our research is fundamentally recognizing there's tremendous amount of value in these indigenous medicines. And what we want to do is using our CytoSolve engine, let the world know that do these things work or not, and if so, why. So that's why we follow that process. Next. The other piece is we are dedicated to eliminating animal testing. There's no, frankly, any reason for it. Next. And the third piece is that we recognize there's this deep, deep, deep collusion between big government, big academia, the big publishers, and the big pharma guys. And while we expose them, we also have a completely different platform, which is CytoSolve, which is going literally, it's a bottoms up movement where you guys can support our research and we can literally today battle this MB25. These organizations would never have created what we're doing for gut health. And you can donate to the CytoSolve Open Science Institute, vashiva.com/open science. Next. And we are looking at many, many different areas of work that we're doing, many different initiatives. Next. You can directly go there and fund the Gut Health Initiative. Next. And by the way, when you donate to us, we give you courses, we give you products, we give you stuff back. And then at the International Center for Integrative Systems, we do the work where we publish all the architectures and we give them away to the world. You can go there. Rebecca, you may want to put both those links up there too, Integrative Systems and the other one. And you can contribute to that. So we're giving you many ways. You can buy product for your own self. You can become a part of the Truth from Health movement. You can fund the gut health research. You can use products coming from it. I guess we're giving many, many calls to action. Next. And you can also, some of you may want to be entrepreneurial. Hey, I don't want to use this. I love your products. I want to sell it. So we have an entire reseller program model. And if you want to know more about that, set up a meeting with us and we'll help you with that. You can refer products. You can refer companies who want to use the CytoSolve services. Next. And in order to do that, if you want to be an affiliate, go to vashiva.com, click on contact, then click on customer service, and you'll see you can fill out an affiliate application. Okay? And the affiliate application, one of our people will call you. You can set up time if you want to be an affiliate. Next. And then you can also help do product development. Next. So you can help develop your own product. You may say, look, I want to build a product for, I don't know, XYZ. And we will help you through that process of doing the research, going through the process, and then that product is your product that you can take to market. Next. And Prabhakar, maybe you want to put this again. So if you want to schedule a meeting at any one of those, please do so, because on a seminar style here, we can't have long, detailed discussions on some of those things. Next. And finally, everyone here, if you're not a member of the Truth from Health movement, support yourself in the work we're doing by going there and contributing. Become a warrior scholar and support yourself to help save yourself and the world by supporting this very, very powerful global movement. Next, you can go there again, as we mentioned, contribute. Next, and you can come to our open houses we do so you can meet other people. vashiva.com/orientation. Systems Health. We have our next summit coming up this November. And every other Fridays, this Friday, we have another tutorial. You'll learn how you can become a systems health educator, how you can, wherever you are, help other people in this very booming area called health education. But most of those health education programs are all not personalized. But this is if you're looking to change careers, you want to do something meaningful, come to the tutorial and we'll show you these new opportunities. Next. And in closing, we're about thinking, fighting, and healing. You got to do all three. We have the platforms, very powerful technology community platforms for you to be a part of that. Next. And we hope you've enjoyed this on gut health and recognize that we have a solution. We have multiple solutions and you can be part of this. Next. Let's take any questions before we wrap up. Any questions on any of the things we've covered? You can just use the bottom. There's a reactions button that has a little heart on it. If you tap on that, and then you can click to bring up the question. Dr. V to me says a really wonderful presentation and program. Thank you, Dr. V. And by the way, this will be put up online, I think tomorrow, right, Prabhakar? We get them up pretty quickly. And then you guys can go watch it if you want, invite people to watch it. Another way you can help people is let others know that we're here. We get, as you know, because we offer real solutions, be it Elon Musk and all these guys do a lot of shadow banning of our content. So you guys can help with that. The future is offline. I do want Dr. Prabhakar to also let everyone knows that I'm running for president of the United States. There's around 40 days left in the election. Everyone can go to shivaforpresident.com. Here's another way you can support. Go to shivaforpresident.com, and you won't find too many presidential candidates taking time out to do a scientific presentation. But we do that. So go to shivaforpresident.com, Prabhakar, if you can bring that up. And one of the things you guys can do is you can go volunteer, you can donate there. But at shivaforpresident.com, you can also download a card if you're in the US. Are you bringing that up, Prabhakar? Yeah. So if you go here, if you click on the free downloads, it's free. Click on the free downloads on the top right there, and you can download this card, which says Save Yourself on the front of the card. Vote or write in Dr. Shiva. We're on the ballot in around 34 states. And same message we have. Go down. It has the same message we started here. They're killing you, shatter the swarm. If you don't want to download and print, we've made a great deal. If you go to the shop, you can contribute to our campaign. Click on shop right there on the top. And you can, on the left, if you can get 10,000 cards shipped to your home that you can hand out. You can go to parking lots. You can give them away to people. Click on that, Prabhakar, on the 10,000 cards. And you can, just click on that so it comes up a little bit bigger. But these cards will be shipped to you, 10,000 cards, about $175. It's a way you contribute to us, all included. Otherwise, you can go, if you go try to print 10,000 cards yourself, you're going to spend a lot of money. We have one of our volunteers who's really helped us with this. Those of you who are outside of the United States, go to vashiva.com/cards, as Dr. Prabhakar is going to go there. Our movement is global. You can go hand out these cards. You can print them and hand them out. And it's in multiple languages, as I said. The tangible action is also, you can support us, you can fund us, but you yourself right now can just go print out these cards, front and back, hand them out to people. And our movement is action-based. We take action. We've built our platform. We do the research. We're not waiting for anyone to save us. No one is coming to save us. But, and I hope you are clear now that we have tools, scientific tools, training tools. You've learned about gut health. Next month, we're going to talk about gut and brain health. But support yourself. And if you so feel inclined, get involved. If you don't, that's fine also. But you can't say you don't have solutions. We have infinite number of solutions here. Any other questions, comments? Let me read them. Thelma says, thank you for this tutorial, as I'm very interested in learning more about products. I'm already a warrior distributing cards. Thank you, Thelma. By the way, in New Jersey, we got on the ballot. They were so afraid of us. The Democratic Party threw us off the ballot. Now we've taken it all the way up to the United States Supreme Court. Again, no lawyer wanted to help us. I spent the last 3 weeks doing our own lawsuit. Okay? There's no one coming to save us. We got to do it on our own. Aymar says, hello, I wanted to recommend creating a download section link on VA Shiva website for people to easily find international swarm flyers and international. So download section link. Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah. So Prabhakar, Aymar's got a really good point. So on VA Shiva, let's add a download link, Prabhakar, right on the top. Okay. You got that? Prabhakar, I don't know if you heard me. Prabhakar?
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, okay, great. Thanks. Yeah, Aymar is from Estonia. Aymar has been he's been distributing the Estonian version, and it has huge, profound effects because lots and lots of people in Estonia are learning about it. Look, every one of you can be a force for change. Any other questions before we check out. It's 12:34. We've been on here for 90 minutes. We want to thank everyone. Oh, Jeremiah has a question. Go ahead, Jeremiah. Jeremiah Cornder. Go ahead, Jeremiah. Good to see you,
Hello,
Jeremiah.
Dr. Shiva.
Well.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
I just have a question. I've been studying soil health and looking, microscopy, looking at different microorganisms in soil, healthy soil. I wonder if there'd be like a similar project you could do with, maybe analyzing people's saliva where you see what's in there, what bacteria, what's normal and healthy and what would be detrimental. Just curious about any research in that area.
So the good news is, Jeremiah, what we did with the periodontal paper gives us a framework to do that. So we could create a service, right? People do a swab, send it to us, and we could give a report back to people. I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
And so the reason Jeremiah's question is really great is because recognize that we do a ton of work here. All of you who came to this event should start thinking about, wow, CytoSolve and Truth Freedom Health does all these tools. So Jeremiah, for example, we could talk a follow-up, right? We could create a service, Jeremiah, and you could help head that up, you say, if you wanted to, or others could.
Yeah.
But we could create
I've been studying microscopy. It'd be interesting.
Right. We could create a number of products for oral health. One is figure out the analysis, a report, give people a set of products for oral health. Every one of the areas we've shared with you are huge entrepreneurial opportunities because we have the engine. And this is why we want to share this with you, because we want you guys to start thinking out of the box about what we as a community can do. This is called citizen science. So Jeremiah, if you want to do a follow-up, use that calendar link so we can do a follow-up.
All right, will do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Rodelio Rutger says, is there any other uses for MV25 that people use other than muscular pain relief? One is muscular pain. It's for joint health. It's for reducing inflammation. It's not only for pain relief, but it's also for mobility. One of the ingredients, which we don't talk about in MV25 because it's a separate thing, apigenin crosses a blood-brain barrier. It has powerful effects on the brain. But it's MV25 is a broad product for joint relief, reducing inflammation, reducing oxidative stress, as well as reducing pain, Rodelia. Okay. If there's no other questions, we want to thank everyone for coming. And we will be putting up, keep an eye out. I think Prabhakar, typically what? Next day, Thursday, we'll put out the link, right?
Yeah.
To the current one we did? Yeah. I want to thank our team, Dr. Prabhakar, our science team, our volunteers who helped get this out. Again, become part of this movement. Simple way that you can help yourself and contribute to help what we're doing. Thank you, everyone. Be the light. Be well. Prabhakar, you started the recording, right? You can stop it? Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.